1, 2, 3. Microphone check. Coffee check. Okay. Everything is fine and we can start. Hello guys and welcome to my channel QANSIGLIERE. Today we continue work on library based on JavaScript programming language to generate some random data what could be used in testing. So what we could start. Sorry, some notifications. 1, 2, 3. Hello guys and welcome to my channel QANSIGLIERE. Today I'm going to continue work on the library based on JavaScript programming language to generate some random data what could be used in the testing. But first of all, I want to remind you what you have some amazing opportunity to send me your question directly. To do it, you just need to open my YouTube channel, click to expand all possible links to this channel and click on the first one. Here in the browser we will open a Google form where you can provide your question and send it to me. I promise what I will review your questions in next videos and provide answers on them. But let's return to the main topic of our conversation. So today we will work on the library what we are going to publish in Node package manager, and this library it will contain a set of functions to generate some random data, maybe random integer value, maybe a random string value, maybe choose random element of array and so on. So let's make this real. First of all, let's create a new repository. Click here to create a new one repository element and provide a name for new GitHub project. It will be random data generator. Okay, the library contains set of the library is based on JavaScript programming language and it contains a set of functions to generate some data. Okay, let me check my notes. Okay, it will be a public project. Let's generate adme file. Let's generate gitignore file. Changes in these files will be ignored by GitHub system. Let's choose Node and here let's use MIT license. Done. Press create repository and as you can see the new GitHub project has been created. What is the next step? Let's download this project. To do it, let's run GitHub desktop app and here let's choose, press refresh and let's clone this project. Done. Here we will be able to see all changes what we do. Next one step is to download Visual Studio Code to create some scripts on JavaScript programming language. Visual Studio Code, click here, download for macOS, and let's wait until the moment when this application is downloaded. Okay, done. Let's click on it. It will be unzipped. And let's move Visual Studio Code to application folder. Done. Let's run Visual Studio Code. Open applications. Open. And let's find our project. Open folder. QANSIGLIERE, documents, GitHub, random data generators. Let's open this project. And what we will do next. So first of all, let's create a folder where we will keep the main script with functions to generate data. Create a folder, let's call it library. And what we should do as a first step. If you work alone, this step could be skipped. But if you work in a team with 2, 3 or more developers, you need to write the code in the same style as others. And to synchronize this style, to standardize your approach with coding, for this purpose, let's add a code formatting application. In my case, I prefer to use Prettier. To find it, you can just write Prettier here and click install. In my case, this application is already installed. And the next step is to enable Prettier for any change. To do it, let's open settings. Find text editor and select formatting. Here, mark format on save checkbox, and this change will be applied automatically. How we can confirm what Prettier works well? Let's create a JavaScript file in the library folder, test.js, and let's write some code. Let A, it means some JSON object with key A, value 1, and add some additional line of the code. Let's save. It's automatically saved. But in case if you do not see any changes in the file, you just need to click on the right mouse button, choose Format Document, or choose Format Document with, and choose Prettier. Done. And this file will be formatted automatically, and all next JavaScript files. Also, we can play a little bit with settings of Prettier, and let's set up it in the right way. Create a file with name .prettier rc. Done. And here let's create the following JSON file. Single quote, true. Arrow parents, avoid. Pros wrap, always. Tab with 4. Use tabs, false. Trailing comma, all. Bracket spacing, true. Semi, true. Print width 120. And GSX single quote, true. Done. Also, we can provide the list of files what will be ignored by Prettier. To do that, let's create a new file and write the name .prettier ignore. Done. And for instance, let's ignore such files, package.json, and for instance, let's ignore, no, let's leave it as is. Save. And as you can see, we already have some changes in the project. Let's remove test JavaScript file. Here we have only empty library and two files with Prettier ignore and Prettier RC. Let's merge these changes. How to do it? So first of all, let's create a new branch. Click here and provide a branch name. Let's call it day1. Create branch and bring my changes to day1 and publish changes to origin. What we can see right now in GitHub. Let's wait for update of GitHub desktop application. It's done. So what do we see here? Here we do not see any changes in the main branch, but if we click here, we will see what we have additional branch. It's called day1. Let's open it, and we can see files what we added into the project. Let me double check. Let's commit them. Day1. Commit, pushing to origin. And let's check here. Here we see synchronized changes with GitHub server. We can see Prettier ignore file and Prettier RC. That's done. Amazing job. And we completed to work and set up Prettier. Now let's focus on our main goal. It's to create a set of functions to generate some random data. What we will do in this case. So first of all, let's register on npmjs.com web page. Open it, click on sign in, and let's create a new account. Let's provide the name for account, QANSIGLIERE, ML, and password. Let me take my notepad and my pen to generate a new password. What do we have? Okay, probably that's it. Let's create the password. Agree on the policy. Verify what I am a human. Okay, how I hate such puzzles. Submit. Okay, and what is next? Okay, press create an account. let me check my email box. Okay, now we can see information about my profile. Here I will play in the future and set up some additional stuff. But as a first step, we registered to npmjs.com. Also, let's open some documentation. And here we can see documentation how we can create a new model. Model, it's some kind of library. It's a file with set of classes or functions what do some specific jobs, and they are grouped by some reason. So here we can see documentation about how we can create our own Node.js model, and let's open it. And let me click back. 1, 2. Okay, so let's do the first step. We need to create the package.json file. This file will contain information about your project and about dependencies and so on. So what we should do in this case? We can do it manually, just create a file package.json, but we are lazy people and want to generate it. Let's check how we can do it. We can use command npm space init. Let's do it. Let's open Visual Studio Code, run terminal, just check our folder, random data generator, and let's write npm init. Press. Okay, package name, random data generators. Okay, version, it will be 0.1.0. Done. Description. This library contains different functions to generate some random data. And examples: integer, float, string, and other values. Done. Endpoint, endpoint, entry point, entry point. Let me check what should be entry point in my case. Okay, it's interesting. Is it possible to write the path? No. Okay. Let me check what we can provide as entry point. Entry point for my own JavaScript package. let's check official documentation, what we can provide as entry point. Probably this one page should help us. Okay, let's create the file, remove library folder, and no, random data generators dot mgs. Let me double check. Okay, let's call it index.js. And let's provide the same information here. Okay, let's leave index.js file. Test comment. I think it's too early to provide test comment here. Git repository. Let's copy this value. And keywords. Done. Let's copy email. License. Okay, done. Keywords. Yeah. Okay, done. We created package.json file and all provided information is placed here. That step is completed. What is next? Okay, probably all right now required steps to create the package is completed and we can focus on the code. So what we are going to do, we will create a set of functions as I mentioned before, and first function will generate some integer value based on the maximum. What I mean, for instance, in some cases we need to choose some random integer value, and I have at least minimum value, maximum value, and we need to choose some random integer value in between. How we can do it? For this purpose we will use a function, it's called math.random, and this function it returns some float value between 0 and 1, but 1 is not included. How it works? Let's write console log math, save, and let's run this file. Start debugging, node. You can see such value. If we rerun the script, value will be different, but it will never include 1 as a final result. And we will reuse math random function to create our own function. Let's write the name function random integer value. Let's call it in such way, random integer value, maximum, and it will return math random multiply maximum, but it will be value between less than maximum. What we need to do, this value will be float. What I want to say. So if we take maximum value and multiply it on some float value between 0 and 1, it will be less than maximum. But this value, it will be float, and we want to see some integer. To do that, let's use math floor function. It will provide only integer part from the value. Let's check it. Console log random integer value where maximum will be 10. Let's run it. Okay. Let's create some information here. Done, and here. Done. Okay, it works. What else we could generate? We could generate some value between minimum and maximum. Let's write the function. Function a random between minimum maximum. What we could do here, return, and what we should return. We have minimum value, it's integer, return random integer, return int value between min max. What we could take, we can take maximum value minus minimum and multiply it on the random. And this value, it will contain something in between. So if minimum is 0 and maximum is 1, 1 minus 0 is 1 and math random. And it's not good to us, because if it will equal 0, it will return 0. But we also want to get one value. What we could do in this case? In this case, we can take math plus minimum and do math floor operation. Okay, done, and let's check it. copy, and let's see, 0 or 1. It will return 0, 0, 0. Okay. Between 0 and 2, it should return 0 or 1. 0. Okay, it works. If we take 5, for instance, okay, looks good to me. Okay, if we take 5 minus 0, it's 5. Multiply on the value between 0 and 1, probably it will be a half, plus 0. Okay. But if we take 4, looks good. Okay, additional function is generated. What else we could do with our function? We can create a function to work with JavaScript array object and choose random element from this array. What we should do? Let's create a new function, random item from array, or we can say it random array item. As entry point we will use array, and what we should do in this case, let's return function. And first of all, we should validate the length of array, because if array doesn't contain any element, it doesn't make any sense to return element from it, right? Right. So what we do check. We do check what length of array is not empty. Array length more than 0, and if this value is true, we return array element, and let's reuse this value. Let array length from length, or return if this array is empty. What we should return? We should return null. Let's check it. A random item from an array. Let's reuse this function, and let's write empty array object. Run null. It returns some false value. Let's return false. It's better. Cannot read properties of undefined. That's true. Okay, false. We also can add validation what this object is an array. What we could do, we could use construction is object is array is array, and let's provide it here. If this is true, if this is true, I'm just curious, will it work or not? Okay, at least it works. Done. What else we can add? Let's generate some random string. Function random string. Let's format it. Refactor. Rename. Rename. Done. And here, let's use function random string. And what we will do here, so first of all we ask about length for string value, how many chars it will contain. Another parameter is the list of symbols what we will use to generate this string. Let's call it char set equal and some parameter a, b, c, d, e, f, g, h, I, j, k, l, m, n, o, p, q, r, s, t, u, v, w, x, y, z. Okay. And what we could do here. Here. Let's create a new variable. Let result. It will be right now empty string. And we will return result. And let's create a file random string here. 5 symbols will be in this string value. And what we will do for let e equal 0, e less than length, e plus plus. What the operation we are going to do? Result plus equal char set. Technically it could be an array. Let's reuse this one value. It's better this one to use. Length, random integer from char set length. So what we do, we take char set. By using random integer method, we take random element from it, and we add this value to result and repeat these steps from 0 to length. Let's check it. And let's say what we want to use only one. Okay, looks good to me. What else we could generate? Sometimes in my work I need to generate some random phone number. Let's create such function. Function random phone number, and let's use parameter template. It will equal to plus x. Done. And what we will do here, return random phone number. Okay, what we will do, we check the string value as template and replace each x by a random integer value. So what we do, let result be empty string, right, and return result. No, we will return template, and for template we replace each x. We need to parse it. It's template split and map. Because we want to include 9. Okay, now we convert it back to string and what we will get. So what we did here, we take this string value, split it on empty spaces. It will be an array. For each element in array, we made replace x to random integer between min max, and this array we converted back to string. Let's run it and check the value. That's strange. Okay, we have a lot of comma, so let's replace it. Replace, and what we will do, we will replace comma g. Done. Let's run it again, and it still doesn't work. Let me remove this part. Run. Okay. Okie dokie. We should map. Okay, and apply it here. Run. Okay, problem solved. Now it generates some random phone number. Okay, what else we could generate? We could generate random emails. Function random email. What we could do here? I think approach will be the same. Okay, let's use template, and it will contain several parts. Okay, and here we do the same operation, return template, and we do replace for each xxx by random string. Next part will be replace for y random string, and last one part is replace for z. Let's put 3 chars here. Let me check replace, replace. Let's run this code. It works well. What else we could generate? We can generate random IP addresses. Function random IP. How we will do it? Let's use return. Some string value, and here we will use this operator dot with operator dot with operator dot and with operator. And let's use our known function random integer. Done. Let's run it. Okay. Run again. Perfect. What else we could generate? I think we can create additional function function random string by template. Here we will use some template and it will contain form, for instance, xxx, x, and we also will use char set. It will contain some values. And ABCDEF done. And let's create such method. We will take return template, and in this template we will do the following operation. Again, we split it by empty string. We will get an array. For each element in this array we take item, item replace x, x on char set from random random integer from char set length. Okay, we map it. Now we need to convert it to string and replace all comma. Done. Let's check this function. Save and run. String from template. Let's run it. Okay, now it works well too. Okay, we prepared a bunch of functions, and I think it's a good time to try to publish our changes. I want to publish unscoped changes. We should run npm publish. Okay. So first of all, let's merge changes. Commit. And let's create a merge request. The first list of done. Let's create pull request. And what we could see here in our project. Let's open it. And we have index file with the list of functions. What is our next step? Our next step is to publish it. Okay. Let's check how it works. Open Visual Studio Code. Open terminal and let's create pvd. Okay. Let's create a folder. npm install GitHub random data generator. Okay, else. Let's open another Visual Studio Code. And open the second one folder what we just created. And you can see what these files are present here. Looks nice. But I think in the future we will update it. And let's do the following stuff. Open documents, GitHub. Let's move it here. Let's remove this one project. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about different approaches how we can work with models. Models, it's just a JavaScript file what contains a set of different functions or classes what you could use in your particular case, and these classes and functions were grouped by some reason or purpose. In JavaScript we can use two approaches to create models. First approach, it's called CommonJS. It's the way how we can work with models. I think I repeat myself twice. Okay, in JavaScript we have two approaches. Done. Let me drink some coffee. Okay guys, let's now talk about models in JavaScript. In JavaScript we have two approaches how we can work with models. First approach is called CommonJS, and the second one is called ES models. Both approaches you could use in your own projects, and let me show the difference in these approaches, how we could work with it. First of all, let's open our projects, GitHub, and let's create two folders. First one we called RDG CommonJS, and second one let's call RDG ESM. And let's open the first one folder. Let's see how CommonJS models work. Document, GitHub, common.js. So here in this project I created a file index.js, and if my project is very small, I can create additional lines of code here in the same file. But what we should do in case if you need to create additional file with JavaScript code and use some functions from another file. For this purpose we should use model export, I mean CommonJS scenario. Let's create child file.js, and let's rename it to parent file.js. So how we can use functions from here in child file. Let's reduce the number of lines of the code. Let's just write only one function, and let's create a constant value, constant a equal, I don't know, 100. Save. So all this information is present right now in the parent file. In child file I have nothing. So what we should do? First approach, it's just write model export dot a equals a model export dot random integer equals random integer. Save. And now I can reuse this function and this variable in child file. How to do it? It's very simple. Let's go var a and random integer. Oh, let's use another form. Let's write var equal require and provide the path to this file dot to parent file dot gs. Save, and let's provide a and random integer, and let's write console.log a and console.log a random integer from 5. Save. Run this file. Sorry. Run without debugging. What's happening? Don't save. Delete this one. Okay, I want to just execute this one file. What are you doing? Probably this one is the wrong one. Okay, and let's run it without debugging. Station host. What is wrong with you? Debug. Exit. Terminal. New terminal. And run. Launch. Okay, okay. Personally, I do not want to. Okay. Run. just want to run this file. How to do it? Let's use terminal. Node child require. Okay, done. Set of property exports. Okay, done. Sorry guys. To export, don't be silent. Hello Andrei, how are you, my friend? So, how to do the right export in case if you work with CommonJS project? That's very simple. You just need to write model.exports.value and equal to or constant or to some function or to any class. And in this case, in the second file, you just need to write require, provide the path to JavaScript file, and execute value. Let's run it. Child file. Require. Node child file. As you can see, we were able to first of all get information about test. We can see the value from variable a, what was provided here. Plus we can get information from our executed function. What are another ways how we could do export between files in JavaScript in case of CommonJS files? We can write model and remove it. Technically, you can provide exports as value, and it also should work. Let's check it. Yep, right. Because technically exports and model.exports are the same thing. Also, if you do not want to write at the end of the file such nodes like model.exports, you can provide this information here and write such information. For instance, exports a and exports random integer. Let's save and let's run node child file, and here we can see the problem is in the function declaration. How we can avoid it? Very simple. Let me remember it. Let's reuse it. Also, as you can see, we could use the third way how to export functions and variables from one file to another. But what we could also do, there is has to be space like export function. No, exports is used for export value is used for ES models. How to work with ES models? Let's open another project. Open first one folder. So here let's also reduce the number of functions in the file. And here we have function, and let's create a constant like b, some text. And let's call it like parent file, and let's create a child file. In JavaScript, as I mentioned before, we have two types of models. First type, it's CommonJS. It's, I would say, legacy one approach, and the modern one is ES models. To work with it, first of all, you need to open package.json file and change here the value type. And choose model. Save. Now we will write the code in ES model style. How to export values in this case? First of all, you can write export b or random integer, save, and here we just need to write import from and path to the file slash parent file.js and provide names a random integer. Done. Test. Console log b and console log random integer like 99. Save. Start debugging. Node. As you can see right now, values are successfully imported from the parent file. Also, we could use another way how to export values. We could provide export here and export here. Save. And here we will get the same result. But what will happen in case if we remove type model? Save, and let's run our code. We'll get an error message. What right now we work in CommonJS approach, and if we want to change this approach, we could use type model, and also in case of ES models we should provide another extension, mgs name. Yep. Save. Now it works, guys. So what format is better to use? You can decide only, or I'll say your team leader or your architect who works in your company. And what we are going to do next. On the next lesson, we will create the correct format for index.js file. We will provide model export information in these files, and we will publish our library in npm.js.com website. And after that, you guys will be able to download this function and use it in your own project. For today, I think it should be enough. And please guys, feel free to provide your own opinion on this stream. What do you think? Was it useful or not? Subscribe to the channel, and thank you for your time, guys.